Big transfer deals in the making, bids going in all over the place. This transfer window is hot as the weather in the UK, and we may be distracted by the brilliant World Cup, and we've got games for you tonight, but things are going beyond that for next season.
The Here We Go is expected soon. The agreement is very close. The exclusive story I dropped to you about Matosh Fernandes. Every day I wake up from here, from the US, and I see all your messages on X, on YouTube, everywhere, asking me, but it's true that he's going to Tottenham. No, it's true that he's going to Man United. It's true that he's going to Tottenham. It's true that he's going to Man United. Every day a different story. I see also many reports. One day he's close to United, one day he's close to Tottenham. The reality, guys, the reality of this story is that Mateus Fernandes is prepared to go to Man United or Tottenham. The player is open to both moves. He doesn't want to stay at West Ham, obviously. He doesn't want to play in the Championship next season. It's almost impossible. But he's ready to go. Man United, Tottenham, the player is not creating any issue on this. The point is to reach an agreement with West Ham. And now, trust me, behind the scenes, we are not seeing many reports on official bid sent, official proposal sent. But Man United and Tottenham are driving the process with the players' camp and with West Ham by attacking every single day. One day Tottenham is bidding, one day Manchester United is bidding, but it's all about verbal proposals. And now, the message I told you days ago is making sense probably also to you who watch my videos, because I told you the player will go to the club able to reach an agreement with West Ham on finance. And so, who is paying the best money to West Ham is going to get the deal done. So, it's about it. It's about reaching an agreement with West Ham. The player is ready to accept both projects. It now depends on the club. So, who can agree terms with West Ham will get the player. And it's about the money, because they start at £85 million, could be more if these clubs keep fighting for the same player. And also, payment terms are also important for West Ham. So it's not just about the fee, it's also about the timing to pay this money.
Manchester United, one of the chiefs at the club right now, Omar Berrada, says Ruben Amarim struggled at the club because he, quotes, cornered himself by sticking too rigidly to his ideas. We know what happened to Ruben Amarim. Lasted 14 months in his role at Old Trafford and was replaced recently by Michael Carrick. Amarim has found himself a berth at AC Milan. But speaking at the Financial Times weekend, United chief exec Berrada has said this. Well, he was a coach that had been very successful in Portugal. He was young, he was dynamic. He had a way of explaining his football knowledge and ideas that were very clear. But then almost crucially, he says, maybe he, Amarim, cornered himself in a position where he wanted to stick in a very rigid manner to his ideas because he wanted to show everybody that it's going to work. So my take from that, Alex, yours no doubt is similar. Berrada, his view of Amarim was, come hell or high water, he couldn't be shifted from his position, no matter who was telling him to.
But they should have known that when they hired him. If they'd done their homework properly, if they'd just picked up the phone to their contemporaries at Liverpool, because Amarim was interviewed by Liverpool before they hired Arne Slot. And the reason he didn't get the job, one of the main factors, was they didn't feel like his very rigid system would suit their playing squad. So presumably he would have told Manchester United the same when he was interviewed, and they should have looked at that Manchester United squad and realised, you know what, we haven't really got the players to play a back three. It doesn't work in the Premier League. The only team to win the Premier League playing a back three were Chelsea under Antonio Conte. So I think that's poor. I think that's poor from Berrada.
So it does work.
It's worked what, once in 30 years?
But it does work then. But it's just having the right players for the right system.
Which United don't have.
They have it for 10 years, but, you know, this guy's fault. But I love when, like, Berrada and the like do these talks, because it's never their fault. And, you know, they hired the person. They actually got into so much of an argument to get this person in that someone else got sacked. In the meantime, for that, in Ashworth, who lost his job, obviously, because he was against it. Then now we've had a little bit of success with Michael Carrick, and fair play to Michael. But, you know, unlike Alex, who gets very up with it because Man U are back and they're going to win the league in the next couple of years.
I've never said
I know you haven't. I'm winding you up. It is one of those situations where we actually haven't seen Michael Carrick and this Man United team really stress-tested at this moment in time. Let's see. Let's see when it's 3 games a week.
But interestingly, Troy, this is the same Berrada who also says, I look back at the process of the appointment, Amarim. I think the rationale for choosing him was sound.
There you go. It's not my fault.
Clearly it wasn't. I mean, He's the worst Manchester United manager since Sir Alex Ferguson, and there've been a few. Comfortably the worst. Win percentage, he finished 15th. Whatever happens under Michael Carrick next season, they're not going to finish 15th.
No, I agree. I agree to that point. My point is more that...
Berrada says he raised the standards in the dressing room.
He did that to a certain extent.
I agree. I agree with that. But the same things he tried to get rid of will start to come back, because it's the old club again, isn't it? What are they going to do with Marcus Rashford now?
Simon, how admirable is it, dying by your principles? Because he wasn't going to be shifted, Amarim.
Well, you know what happens with your principles when you die? They die with you, right? And the old adage, was it one of the Marx brothers, or was it W.C. Fields that said, I've got a set of principles and if you don't like them, I've got another set. The bottom line is that the most flexible... You've got to have standards, you've got to have beliefs, but you've got to be able to have the resources around you to be able to execute them. And the smarter people, what they do is they finesse and they change and they get it around to where they want it to be over a period of time. I think the writing should have been on the wall when this manager was coming into London photobombing himself when every football club that would even bother to talk to him, including West Ham. So whilst I respected some of the things that he said, Amarim, because he was bold, he wasn't having any of Marcus Rashford's nonsense and things of that nature, I think some of the things that he was allowed to say were ridiculous. Now, this forensic evaluation from this George Carman-like, administrator at Manchester United in terms of the benefit of his experience is wonderful. The good people don't need hindsight. Now, one thing I can tell you is that managers are chameleons, and they will tell you what you want to hear in interviews. They will tell you what they will do and how they will do things and how they'll adhere to the structure of the football club and who they will work with and what they like and how they'll play this way and how they'll play that way. And then they get in the door sometimes and they do precisely the polar opposite and do what they want. I've seen it happen. I've had it done to me. So you've got to be able to find your way through it. Berrada was brought in to be the expert in the room. He's a very experienced operator. He was brought in to be the best in class, ironically, at their rivals Manchester City across the town, to give that expertise into the Man United boardroom. Yeah. So he's got to be able to whiff the BS when he hears it. Now, Amarim coming through the door is an ideologue. There's nothing to be... Look, again, I make the point. You've got to have central values and principles. Yeah. But you're a fool if you die on a cross or on a hill about something that's really very difficult to achieve. What Amarim will say is, I was building... This was not a sprint, it was a marathon. And I was built for a marathon. But in the business, whether you like it or you agree with it or not, if the business that you're in means that in the short term you have to be moderately successful to be able to get the long term, then you're a bleeding imbecile if you sacrifice the short term for a long-term position that you're never going to get.
Simon, is it part of any boardroom's remit to try and change the principles of a manager?
No, it's part of a boardroom's remit to make sure that the manager they get is precisely what they want and what they are recruiting for. And so whilst Amarim, I'm sure there are some of the most convincing hucksters in the world have sold people wonderful things. That's why people are called snake oil salesmen like Eddie Hearn, who does it for a living. Right? In this instance, this guy's come in and sold them a pup, because he wasn't fit for purpose. And the things that he did say, they might have been... I mean, the media loved him. He got a wonderful pass. He even got the Man United fans singing his name whilst they were losing games. Because that was a smoke and mirrors he's able to create, because it wasn't him, it was the Glazers. It wasn't the Glazers, it was someone else. Right? The bottom line was, he was unsuccessful. And here he is now, plying his trade at AC Milan.
So for all three of you, and briefly, we're going to hit the bulletin at the top of the hour, where are the bigger question marks in Manchester going into the next season, Alex? Carrick with United, Maresca at City.
Yeah, clearly Carrick with United for the reasons Troy said, because, you know, the main reason he was so successful last season was because they often had 3 weeks to prepare for a game. They're not going to get that with the Champions League. The squad is lacking depth, and I'm not sure they've got the millions of pounds to spend they need to rebuild it. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for Maresca to replace a legend in Guardiola, but the City setup is there for him. Carrick's got to do a lot of the hard yards himself, because I'm still not convinced by the people above him.
And also, very quickly, with Berrada, they also sold the wingers. Now, what are they buying this year? They've got to buy wingers. So he's not to blame. He's not to blame for what Amarim did on the pitch, but you also gave him every opportunity.
Look at the wingers that they sold. I mean, I would have driven Garnacho anywhere in the world in a cab myself just to have gotten.
No, I totally agree with that. But the point is, you said you were going down this route because you trusted this manager. You've made things happen. Now you're double backing and getting another guy that plays with wingers, so you have to go and get more wingers to come back in.
I just wonder, Simon, about Berrada, when he says things and what the fans might think. On the Glazers, my sense is they're very committed to the club and they're here for the long term.
Well, this is what you get when you want football to run as a business. Football isn't a business. Football is an opportunity for people like me to come in, give his money away and hope that he can hang on for the white knuckles for the next four to come along and buy it off him. Or you've got a business which is the Glazers, who've turned it into a legitimate business for themselves because they bought it for nothing, cost them nothing to buy it, and they've made loads of money out of it. This is the dynamic. They're committed to what? They're committed to the cause of it being an opportunity for themselves.
Committed to pillorying the club at every possible opportunity.
They're committed to the cause of building of a business. This is a business. This is what a business looks like. You might not like it, and you might not like the optics of it, but that's what you do when you try to treat football as a business. Football is not a business. As much as I advocate for trying to have business disciplines behind it, I've long since realised that it is an opportunity for people to come in, spend as much money as they can because they like the sport, want to be involved in it, want a bit of limelight on them, and then hold on as long as they can until the next bugger comes along and takes it off them.
That comment about the Glazers will go down like a lead balloon with the United fan.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So guys, on these and much more, I want to know your opinion here in the comments. As always, remember guys to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and every single day here on YouTube with Fabrizio. Let me know your opinions here in comments, and see you very soon, every single day.